Welcome to Passive Wealth Principles, another one of these What I Learned episodes. This episode is with Jamie Gruber. So Jamie, I have known him for 4 years, I think it is. And I've got a chance to see him kind of grow over those 4 years, where he evolved from a six-figure W-2 income in a insurance adjuster kind of space. Actually, I don't even know what his actual real day job was, but he was working as an insurance executive doing something in that space. He was a New Yorker, from Boston that came to Detroit and was pursuing what he thought was the next level and rung up the ladder. And it's actually an interesting story. How he referenced it was, he's like, when some people get into a relationship or get married and you have that questioning or, in your gut, you're like, this isn't right. He's like, he knew that about his job. He moved to Detroit, he moved to Michigan and took this promotion. And he was like, within mere days, he was like, this is the wrong thing for me. Even though it took him several years and where he was able to create enough side hustle, he created and leveraged this opportunity of something that he was passionate about, and he was able to exit his W-2 income job and quit and then go travel around the world. And actually, I think by the time this thing airs, he'll be living in the Dominican Republic for a year or 6 months. I don't actually remember how long the time period was, but it was one of his passions, one of his things that he put on his bucket list, that he would like to live in other parts of the world with his wife and kids. And then he created a life by design to live those principles. His journey is very interesting because, again, I say, his evolution is, I sat down with him a couple of years ago. He referenced it on the podcast, is I helped give him some advice. I don't even know what I say half the time. I talk a lot. People want to talk to me about real estate, and I put a quarter in me, and it's actually usually, how do you get me to shut up about talking about real estate? So we sat down in Aspen a few years ago and we just kind of chopped it up. And he said something that I said to him really, really resonated. And he developed this kind of concept, or I don't know if he developed it, but he talked about these three particular roles in which people have, I don't say just in he said real estate, but I was like, it really, any one of these things is critical to business. And it's like, he breaks it down as an analyzer. An analyzer is someone that is just loves digging into the details. They love running analysis on the pro forma of investing into a deal. And then what happens after they've been digging in and running analysis on a spreadsheet, they go home and then read the, car review and analyze the, a car. They just do these things. And so that there's certain personalities and profiles of people that just love doing analysis. And so every business needs somebody that's really good at running that analysis. Then there's this other role of an integrator. I know that we've talked about this on previous episodes where with Matt King, but it is, on the premise of Gino Wickman's traction, that you need a visionary, an integrator, and then breaking down your sales and marketing, your ops, and your accounting. But this integrator becomes someone that becomes the hub in which your organization spends on. And so that in a corporate role as a COO, or it's your operations manager, and there's lots of different titles for those particular things. But an integrator becomes very, very critical to almost every single business. Just as there is an analyzer, there's an integrator, and then there's this kind of final category that is critical to the business, and that is a connector. And so I saw that in Jamie early on, is that he was amazing at being a connector. He was really good at listening to people's stories, understanding it, internalizing it. And then he knew that when you brought up that you were looking for an analyzer, he knew who was an analyzer. Or if you were looking for, a barber shop, he knew the best barber in town. And this is one of the things that Jamie was really, really good at. He even developed some group meetups. He developed some things about real estate or multifamily investing that just collectively got a tribe of people together. He loved doing that. And so even though he is now a partner of a multifamily investment fund, he's not tasked with underwriting a multifamily deal. He is not looked at leading the acquisitions. So he is really looking to be the connector, the face, the communications, the mouthpiece of this organization. And so when I sat down to him, there's this book I referenced. We referenced it in the podcast as well. This Keith Ferrazzi wrote a book called Never Eat Alone. To me, I don't know why, but that book really resonated with me. That book was something that it was like your network becomes your net worth. Jamie has understood that, and it's part of his MO. It's how and what makes up who he is. And so when someone, and Mark Henteman and Quantum Capital, the group that he is now working with that has acquired hundreds of millions of dollars worth of multifamily projects across the country, they reached out and they said, Jamie, we would love for you to be a connector for us. We're really good at doing the analysis and doing the operations, but what we're not good at is being the connector. Would you be willing to come do that for our organization? And he was like, I would love to. And so part of that is figuring out, like, what are you already naturally disposed of doing? What fires you up? What are the things that you do for free or on the side that nobody would even pay you to do? And we talked about this in a way of describing it. There's certain things that you do in a given day that give you energy. There are certain things that you do in the given day that drain or take, suck the life and the energy out of you. And so where Jamie, being a connector, he can go connect at a mastermind event, go run around, shake hands, kiss the babies, talk to people, be excited, just off the charts excited because he can't believe that he gets to go to talk to this many people. He goes back to his hotel room at night, and then he wants to go call his friends and text them and tell his wife about like all the amazing people he just met, and he's so fired up in doing that. And I know some people listening to this right now are like, oh dear God, I think that would be the worst version of hell, going to a mastermind and going and talking to a conference room full of people. But that's part of the thing, is like figure out the things that you're already naturally good at or you naturally already like, and then start leaning into that purpose. Jamie has taken that. Not only has he leveraged it into becoming a partner of Quantum Capital, but he has developed the Emerge and Ascend program for Gobundance. The Emerge and Ascend program is a 12-week module that allows someone to achieve some goal in life. You're not quite a millionaire yet, but you want to understand how to put together a system and a process to achieving a goal. And they walk those people and they walk the participants through that. And then maybe I don't know if they disclose this, but you have to go through that Emerge program to get to Ascend. And I may actually be flip-flopping that, maybe Ascend and Emerge, but one way or the other. And then the other one's kind of a more group coaching program that allows you to start scaling your organization. So Jamie has found his purpose of teaching and connecting other people, connecting and driving vision and impact beyond his own work. His work now is teaching other people some of these skill sets that he's already learned. So for instance, there's been 30 people that have gone from his Emerge and Ascend program and gone on to Gobundance. For people that don't know about it, Gobundance is a men's mastermind program, and actually there's a women's program as well, but a mastermind that requires a millionaire net worth, $1 million of net worth to join it. And so you get in a collective group of people that have $1 million or more net worth, and you start talking about problems and solutions and how do you solve them. Well, he has helped 30 people go from not being a millionaire to becoming a millionaire in the course of the last couple of years. He has not added $30 million to his net worth. Maybe he has. I don't actually know his personal net worth, but he's helped 30 people achieve a millionaire status through these Emerge and Ascend programs. And not only that, I see it on him. We were just hanging out a few weeks ago in San Francisco, is he's fired up doing that. He has discovered what his purpose is, and that he gets a chance to lean into other people and teach them some of the things that he's learned. Being that guide, being that connector, leaning into that purpose, he has been able to unlock true happiness, because those 30 people, think about the ripple effect of him expressing the thing that he's truly passionate about. He's doing it in the service of others. Now that's 30 other people's families, 30 other people's children, their parents, and really is starting to create the potential of generational wealth 30 times over. And he's just getting started. So that's what's super exciting about Jamie, is discovering and figuring out your purpose and how do you use that in service of other people, getting in proximity of other people, getting in the proximity of entrepreneurs, getting in the proximity of Navy SEALs, whatever it is that you want to do in life, just being around that proximity is going to give you understanding, clarity, and define the path in which you need to walk on. And you may discover, and one of the things we talk about is don't be afraid to pivot. And what I say by pivot, and what Jamie talks about in pivoting, is that sometimes human nature is we're afraid to fail. We're afraid that other people, if they see that we fail, they'll think less of us, that we decided to go into real estate investing, that we decided to take this corporate job. But the reality is that we're unhappy, we're unfulfilled, we're, dreading going to work, a job that you hate. So think about that, going to a job that you hate year after year after year. How laborious and how terrible of an existence that is, where the vast majority of your time, more time that you're spending with your family, you're spending at a job that you hate. So, man, if that is not, the call to action is like, how do you get off of that hedonic treadmill? How do you stop doing those things that you hate? Figuring out and getting in the proximity of where you do want to go. And then also understanding that just because you take action in some direction, that doesn't mean that has to be the one that you stick with. You can flow and flow to the thing that is best serving you and best beneficial to that. So I want to kind of give a final breakdown, is to stop asking about how to make money, but how do I do more of the things that I love? And then how can I help those around me within that realm of that thing I love? Jamie's episode is fantastic. He dives into a lot of different details, referencing Gary Vaynerchuk and jab, jab, right hook, and being okay with that pivot, being okay with the change, the ability to take action to create and design a life that you really want, to live a life of purpose, of freedom, and in legacy. And oftentimes in that process of doing that, you can unlock true happiness. And even if that means doing something like living in another country for portions of your life, because that is exciting for you. You get a chance to design your own life. Listen to the full episode. Listen to some of the hacks in which he's been able to leverage his time using VAs, doing inbox management, and also one of the very, very critical items that he talks about that has freed up, that is the best money that he's ever spent on anything, and it only costs $40 a week. Might actually be $40 a month, $40 a week, or $40 a month. It's an insignificant amount of money, and it's the best money that he's ever spent. So check out the full episode of Passive Wealth Principles with Jamie Gruber.